I am thrilled to have this opportunity to partner with the ISTA to win in 2024.
Democratic candidate Jennifer McCormick picking up a big endorsement this week from the Indiana State Teachers Association in the race for governor. That announcement coming the same week that 5 of the 6 Republican candidates squared off on the debate stage one final time. So let's talk about it all right now with our panel. Here with us in studio this week, we've gathered our panelists, including former state party chair for the Indiana Democrats, Robin Winston, 2016 vice chair for the Indiana Trump campaign, Tony Samuel, along with 2 former state lawmakers. For the Democrats, former state rep Terry Austin, and for the Republicans, former state rep Mike Murphy. And with us today as well on Zoom, former communications director for the Indiana GOP, Pete Seat. I'll start with you, Pete, and your thoughts overall on Tuesday night's Republican debate.
Well, it was a complete and utter train wreck. I think that's the universal consensus. I also don't think Mike Braun necessarily lost anything by not being there because of how poorly orchestrated the entire event was. But yeah, the candidates were going to attack him for missing the debate because of what they saw as hypocrisy in skipping a previous vote in order to campaign, and this time doing the opposite.
Terry, what did you make of this debate and also that discussion over Senator Braun missing it to vote against the aid package for Israel and Ukraine? Senator Young voted for it, Braun against it. He took criticism from a few different directions for that vote and also for missing the debate. What do you make of it all?
Well, I think by not being at the debate, he avoided a lot of arrows because they were certainly gutting for him, and he sort of sidestepped it. You could argue that if he had missed that vote, it would have come back to haunt him as well.
He might have taken criticism for that too.
So it's 6 of one,
right.
half dozen of the other. But the debate itself was a circus. It was an absolute circus. John Schwantes, who usually has a pretty good handle on things, lost control of that thing early on. It reminded me of a junior high fight on the playground.
The candidates kind of turned on him there. Mike, there have been a lot of undecided voters in this race. Governor Holcomb among them, at least publicly, saying this week he won't make an endorsement. Lieutenant Governor Crouch this week also kind of lamenting the voter apathy that seems to be out there this year. What do you think? Are some of these undecideds just never going to decide and maybe not even vote this year?
I don't think they're going to vote. In some ways, you could argue there's not a big reason to vote because there's not a big presidential race to draw people to the polls. If you end up with, if you're lucky, you get maybe 19% of the Republicans to vote. If Curtis Hill's right, you only need 25% of that vote. 25% of 19% is less than 5% of the Republicans vote for you in order to win the primary. And I'll have to kind of endorse what everybody said here tonight about the debate. I mean, the first rule of journalism is you don't make yourself the story. And the moderator made himself the story, and they went downhill from there.
Robin, I'll come to you next here. If this does end up being Braun against McCormick this year, what's your party's plan to try and win in the fall? We saw the endorsement there moments ago from the Teachers Association. How much does that help in 2024?
There's a 40,000 member organization, the people that we charge every day with taking care of our kids, 1.1 million kids in public schools. She got the endorsement. It eats up a lot of the budget of the state of Indiana. Most of the candidates for governor are too busy talking about San Antonio and Brownsville, Texas, and places like that. The reality is that Jennifer McCormick landed a major endorsement in this race. And the other thing, Mike, you're right, because I'm tracking turnout by absentee ballot voting. It's abysmal in most of the Republican counties right now. So the real thing, Dan, is I think a lot of people are just tuning out in spite of the money spent.
Maybe to politics altogether, not just this race. Tony, what's your response to that, and how do you see this race playing out now that all 3 of these debates are said and done?
Yeah, I agree. It'll be a low turnout. I think that helps Suzanne Crouch, and here's why. She's got 175 some endorsements, 30 or so from law enforcement. She's been a grassroots campaigner. She's done everything the right way, raising money, not putting in personal money. That will get her a real high percentage of the folks that are paying attention, the party people and others. And then as it gets to, the higher vote total, I think that could still, she's the only one, from what I'm hearing from their campaign, that the numbers show she can catch Braun.
We'll see what happens. She's been about 20 points behind in that race. Big news this week, meantime, on a huge new development coming to northern Indiana. Amazon plans to build a web services facility near New Carlisle. Governor Holcomb confirming it's the largest capital investment in state history, an $11 billion plan that's expected to create at least 1,000 new jobs. Certainly economic development a big issue in this race for governor. Pete, this specific project is one that former Commerce Secretary Brad Chambers touted in a press release earlier this week. It comes the same week Google announced plans to come to Northeast Indiana. What's the political impact of all this?
Well, economic development is a cutthroat business. There is a lot of courting taking place all across the country to bring projects and jobs like these to different states. And Indiana has a leg up because of our strong financial and fiscal footing that we can lure these companies to come. So I'm shocked that any Republican candidate for governor is arguing against job creation.
Yeah, Pete saying he's shocked some of the candidates argued against this sort of thing. Terry, in the debate, we did hear some of Chambers' opponents kind of question his philosophy on economic development. That's been a big point of differentiation between some of these candidates for governor as Chambers pushes for that moderate lane in next month's primary.
Well, economic development, quite honestly, is a complex issue. And a lot of it's driven by the available workforce. That's the number one issue employers look for, companies look for when they're thinking about coming to any particular region. I say kudos to the Northwest and the Northeast for having the workforce available to land these types of jobs. Okay. There are also a lot of people working on this behind the scenes, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Mike, quickly too, this comes as the Indy Star and Mirror Indy report on Brad Chambers' company, how it reportedly didn't follow through on paying back a loan with the city of Indianapolis on a couple different occasions. Again, as this issue of economic development really takes center stage this year.
Well, when you're in the development business, it's in some ways it's a very self-absorbed business. The first thing you do is make sure you don't put any of your own money in. You make the government take all the risk. Everybody does that. And so what's happening here is the Star has been uncovering some things that are not very good for Chambers, especially in the last 2 weeks. That investigation has a long way to go. A lot more coming out.
Speaking of economic development in Indy, pretty stunning announcement this week that could put the Indy 11 soccer stadium in jeopardy. The mayor announcing the city may pursue a new stadium project for an MLS team, perhaps instead. Tony, this is an announcement that seems to have drawn some criticism already from some members of city council as we wait to see what the impact of all this is really going to be.
Yeah, first impression is that it seems to be undercutting the Indy 11 project and the years of effort that's gone into to bring that to fruition just about. So we'll wait and see, but I think the communication was done poorly, and you know, who knows what the plans will be, but it's not a good look the way Mayor Hogshead's doing it.
Robin, what's your response to that? What do you make of some of the political dynamics involved in all this?
Well, my response is that Joe Hogshead's been visionary in trying to address really systemic issues in our community, and one of those is tourism and future economic development. We're building a brand new downtown hotel to accommodate future convention and visitor bureau people. But also, this stadium, if people really genuinely want soccer, let's all work together and put it in one place so we don't have one stadium down the street and another. That will never work.
We'll see how all of this gets sorted out here over the next months and years. All right, coming up next, an investigation into an Indiana school has parents and local leaders raising concerns. We'll hear from a state lawmaker and the county sheriff right after this.